Go for it.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and those in between. You know who I am. For those who don't, my name is Sarah Jane Baker. I founded the Trans Prisoner Alliance to support 2,000 transgender men, women and non-binary people, and also the gay community within our prisons. That's who I represent. I want to know who you represent, because I'm telling you this, the way that transgender prisoners are being treated in our prison system at the moment is torture. It's taking the fucking piss out of human rights. If you are a trans woman in our system, you are demonized, you are spat upon, you have shit put in your fucking food. If you're unlucky, you will be raped in the prison showers. That is what will happen if you are trans in our system as it is. We are not protected. I was just released in September after serving 30 years of a life sentence. I'm telling you, 30 years being a trans woman in a male prison system with its high levels of toxic masculinity, I'm telling you, it was fucking murder. And I'm telling you this, you bastards in Parliament, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Because transgender prisoners forever have been writing to their members of Parliament and have received no reply. When they have received notices or letters or emails or letters through their solicitor from the Ministry of Justice, they are told that they are not trans, it is a lifestyle that they have chosen to adopt. Now I'm really upset. I'm really upset that, you know, the LGBT community in this country have ignored transgender prisoners, your brothers and your sisters. Your fucking brothers and your sisters. And prisoners have been murdered. Transgender prisoners have been raped, have been stabbed, have been slashed, have had shit put in their fucking bed. Now, the prisons in this country belong to you, the British public. They are your buildings. You fund what happens within your prisons. In London, we got some of the biggest shitholes in the fucking world. And we choose to put our husbands, our wives, our sisters, our nephews, our cousins, we choose to allow the state to put them in absolute fucking toilets and be told by prison officers that the only rights you are allowed are the ones that I allow to give you. Now, you know what? As a nation, we spend our fucking lives looking down our nose at countries that we consider to be less civilized than our own. You fucking hypocrites. On your own doorsteps, the fucking homeless have got nowhere to go. The mentally ill have got no support. Do you know what? I just served 30 years in a British jail, right? They gave me £52 and told me to piss off. I said, I don't know how to live. I said, I've been kept in a box for 30 years for attempted murder on a prisoner who fucking raped me. Now, fuck your fucking Ministry of Justice and fuck the way that you allow us to be treated in your jails. You know, I have another sign here, if the cameraman will shine it on it. It says, be trans, do crime. I'm not saying that people should do crime. I'm not. But what I say is this. I know trans people who are desperate enough to go shoplifting or to do things to make money to survive in an economy where there's no space for trans women, especially those who are not celebrity trans women like Paris Lees or India Willoughby. Now, I love them, but you know, there are people who are older than me, trans men and trans women, who can't afford operations, they can't afford treatment for gender dysphoria, and the waiting lists in our clinic are too fucking long. Now, I removed my own testicles in a prison cell in Lewes, next to Brighton, because I was told as a prisoner they would not give me any treatment. I would have to wait till I was released. How can I wait till I'm released? I was serving a life sentence. I had no release date. Now, removing my testicles wasn't just because of the gender dysphoria that I've tried to deal with all of my life. Mostly by self-harming, as loads of the members of the LGBTQI community do. But it was also a political act to say I demand the same fucking rights when I'm in a British prison as people do out here. And I'm begging you, the British fucking people, you've got this organisation called the Prisoner Officer Association. You know, they run the prison system. They decide who gets tortured. They decide who gets battered in the segregation units. They're the ones who decide whether they should cut a prisoner some slack because they have a mental illness, or they're on the autistic spectrum, or they have Asperger's or borderline personality disorder. Now, I don't think this will come as a surprise to anybody. The prison system can be broken down into 3 different groups. Now, 1, you have a third of our prison system who cannot read and write to the age of, well, to the level of a child who's 5 years of age. That's a third. You have another third who are in prison because of drugs, for buying drugs, to selling drugs and to taking drugs. But I'll tell you what, the prison system is a fucking drug market. It's full of drugs. Prison officers bring drugs in all the fucking time. Yet the Prison Officer Association, they're aware of this level of corruption and they choose to do nothing about it. According to the Ministry of Justice, our prison system and our justice system cannot be seen to fail. That is the approach of them parasites and fucking hypocrites over there that we fucking elect. Listen, there's about 2,000 transgender prisoners in our jails. Only 140 of them have chose to live openly trans in the prison system, mostly in male prisons. Think of them, you know. Not everybody in prison is evil. Not everybody in prison, not everyone in prison deserves to be there. You know that as well as I do. I deserve to be in prison, you know what I mean? I was out of control. But I was a strong person, but the prison system is littered with victims. It's littered with victims of abuse too. Unfortunately, many of these people who are really damaged, they end up in our psychiatric hospitals, but mostly they end up in our prisons. People who are damaged. You put a damaged person in our prison system, and all will break loose when they're released. Do you know what I mean? Treat people good, man. Trans Prisoner Alliance. Listen, if you can look us up on Instagram, wasp_collective. I'm a graffiti artist. I'm a violinist, and I'm a sex worker. That is the life I choose. I love you all. Solidarity.